Hi everyone, it's Lindy on here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today I thought I'd show you how to make a fun, cute little winter penguin Christmas ornament. So let's go ahead and get started. These are the little ornaments here. They're clear plastic ornaments. It comes as a set, so you can put it together like that and make one round ornament. But we're just going to use half of it. We don't need the whole thing. So you can get two out of this one package. Now I'm going to grab my nesting circle dies from We Are Memory Keepers, and I want the one that's just a hair bigger than that ornament itself. So it's maybe like a 1/16 of an inch bigger all the way around. So now that I have that, I'm going to take my Strathmore mixed media cardstock. This is the 184-pound weight. And then these two pattern papers from the Snowday Remix pack from Lawn Fawn. So now I've got my three papers that I'm going to cut that circle from. So I'm going to die cut it from this cute little pattern paper here with the little holly leaves on it. And then the one that looks like a snowy background. And then that heavyweight white cardstock. Now I'm going to die cut one more out of a 65-pound weight cardstock. So we're going to set that lighter weight one aside, and I'm going to grab these first three that we die cut. So that's the lighter one there that I'm going to set off to the side. Then I'm going to take my glue tube and I'm going to glue these three together. So I'm gluing the snowy background to the white cardstock. And the reason I chose this white 184-pound cardstock is just to give it a nice heavy backing. So any cardstock here will do. A 100-pound weight would be fine as well. So I have those all glued together. So now you can see how cute that paper looks there. So now that little ornament is going to sit right on top of this pattern paper, but I want to create a little bit of the scene here. So I'm going to start with making a snowy border using my stitched Hillside borders. And I'm also going to use the forest border die set. And I wanted that stitch border that lines up with the forest border. So now I'm going to grab this green paper with the little white dots on it, and that's from the Snowday Remix paper pack again. And I want to die cut this forest border out of that pattern paper here. But first I'm going to cut that circle again. This is the same circle die we used before. But you can see there I won't be needing the entire circle, so I'm just trying to figure out about how much of that circle that I would need. So I'm going to grab some purple tape and just tape that in place. Then I'm just cutting this down to size, and I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. So I'm running this through the Spellbinder Platinum 6 machine. And now I'm going to be able to place that forest border die right along that top edge there. Just trying to figure out where I want it to be here. I'm going to tape that in place and run that through my machine as well. Now I want to line up my snowy border with that forest border here. I'm going to make sure that my cutting edge is at the top. And so I'm just going to place these two over each other just to see where I need that snowy border to end. And then I'm just going to slide that green paper out of there, holding it with my left hand there. And then I'm going to tape it in place and run that through my machine. So now you'll see that that snowy border lines right up against that forest border there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these two together here. And then at this point, I can go ahead and glue this piece right down to my panel. And I'm adding a little bit of glue on each of those little trees just to make sure that they don't tear, or they're kind of delicate, so I just want to make sure they're secure. So now I'm going to grab this new pen from Lawn Fawn. This is the glitter pen, and I haven't used this yet. So to get this started, it has kind of like a bullet nib tip on the end. So you just want to press it up and down quite a few times to get it started. And then you can see there that it gives you this pretty glittery effect. It's a clear glitter effect. So I'm going to go ahead and add that glitter to all of these little trees here. Now I'm going to take my Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound cardstock, and these are the stamps we're going to be using. We're going to use that cute little penguin from the Winter Penguin set and the coordinating die. Now I'm going to grab my VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. So now I can take that coordinating die, and I'm going to just line that up and tape that down with a little bit of purple tape. And I'm going to be running this through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. Now I'm using the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens to do my coloring, and I'm going to use the wine red and also my blender pen. I'm going to start off by coloring this little scarf here. And I'm cleaning off that blender pen first just to make sure that I don't transfer any color from a prior project. And once it goes clear, you'll know that it's clean. And then I'm just going to pull these colors together. Now with the turquoise green, I'm going to do his little skates here. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that darker color right up underneath his body there. And then I'm going to add a little bit more and pull that color down. So I'm just using one color here. And then I'm going to grab the orange and do the same thing for his little beak. And again, rather than changing colors, I'm just going to add another layer of that orange and pull it through. Now I'm going to take the black and just kind of add it around the edges here. And then I'm just going to pull that down. And if you get too much color, you can always clean it off on your scrap paper there. And I'm going to do the same thing down at the bottom here. And these Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens are a water-based pen. And they have this really nice detail tip on them. So I did some real simple coloring here. Then I'm going to grab the light gray, and I'm just going to do that sort of in the center of his body here, just to create a little bit of a shadow here. And I'm going to leave that white, the center of his tummy there, the lightest. It's almost white there. And then with the sugared almond pink, I'm going to do a little bit of coloring on his cheeks. And I'm just blending that out so you can see there how cute he is. So now I'm going to take my Jelly Roll white gel pen, and you want to make sure that the scarf is nice and dry before you do this. And I'm just adding some little polka dots here to his scarf. And you can see that adds a little bit of interest there. So now I'm taking my Nuvo Crystal Glaze. This is just a clear glaze. And I'm going to put a little bit on his beak there, and I set that aside to dry. So now with these border dies, I want the one with the largest arch there. And these are the simple stitched hillside borders. And then I'm going to grab the Lawn Fawn Pixie Dust cardstock, which is a sparkly, glittery cardstock. And then I'm going back to that circle die again, and I die cut that glitter cardstock from that same circle die. Now I'm going to die cut this little border here, and this is going to create the little pond that our penguin is going to be skating on. So again, I want to determine where that's going to be. So I'm just going to slide that paper right in there and then tape it down with a little bit of purple tape and run that through my die cutting machine. But before I do that, I'm going to take the Stitched Trails dies, and I want this one here with this one little loop on it, because I want it to look like the sort of a pattern that the penguin skating created. So I'm going to tape that one in place as well, and I'm going to run both of those through the die cutting machine. Now you'll see that'll leave a little stitch border at the top of the pond we're creating, and then that stitched kind of loop as well. So now I'm using my Peacock Feathers Distress Oxide ink just to add a little bit of a shadow around our little pond here. Now I'm taking my Faber-Castell Pitt pen in the black. This is a permanent pen, and I decided just to go over that stitching with the black. I just thought it was a little too light. I do have to say though, I liked it both ways, so I think either way would be fine, just leaving it as it was or adding the black. So you decide on that. I thought either way looked cute. So now with this portion here, I'm just going to tape this down. I'm using my Scotch ATG 700 tape dispenser here to add this. You could glue this down as well. I just thought with all the little stitching there, I didn't want any of the glue to come through that little stitch swirl there. So I thought the tape would be better in this case. So now we have all of that taped together. Now I want to add my little penguin. So I'm going to grab my Gina K foam squares. These are the white foam squares. And you'll see here that I'm going to add a double layer of these squares. So I'm removing the backing from that first layer. And then I'm going to add 2 more right on top of those there. So I'm going to add one here and one to this other one. That's going to give me a little bit more dimension on this. Because I figured it is an ornament, I wanted it to have a little bit more dimension inside there. So you can see there that pops him up a little bit. So now I'm using that glitter pen that we used earlier. And I'm just going to add some little glittery dots in the sky here just to give that snowy effect, a little bit of a glittery effect. And then I'm adding a little bit down into that snowbank. So you can see that there. Now that little dome is going to fit right over the panel we've created. So I'm going to use the multi-medium matte. This is this will dry clear and it will hold the plastic to the paper. And I'm just adding a bead of that all the way around that outer edge of this dome. And then I'm lining it up and I'm going to glue that in place. And you do need to hold this for quite a while here to make sure that it glues, that it's secure. Now once I have that done, I want to add a little bead of glue around the edges here because we're going to be adding the lawn trimmings. And this is called the Red Sparkle Hemp Cord. And it is red with a little bit of a sparkle in it. And I'm just going to cut a piece that will go all the way around this little dome here. And then again, I'm going to add a little bead of glue all the way around that little edge that we've created here. And then I'm going to glue this cording in place. So I just did a little bit at a time. So just add a little glue and then glue it down and then do a little bit more. And if you feel comfortable, you can put the glue all the way around. I just did it in little sections here. And you just want to pat it into place with your fingers. And then again, I'm just going to cut away that excess at the top there. Just so those two ends just meet right there at the top. So again, I'm going to let that set and dry. I did get a little glue on the dome here, so I just wanted to show you that I just took a damp baby wipe and I just wiped that off. And then I just took a dry cloth and just buffed that a little bit, and it was just fine. So now I'm going to use the sentiment, Have a Cool Holiday. And this is from the Say What Christmas Critters set. And to do the little tag, I'm going to grab this little tag here from the Double Slider Surprise card. So I'm going to go ahead and do my stamping. I'm just going to mount this onto my acrylic block. And I'm going to take the ink from Lawn Fawn, and this is the Lobster ink. So this is a really pretty red color. So once I have that stamped, I'm going to line up that die just over the top of that and die cut my little tag. I'm going to be running this again through my little Sizzix Sidekick machine. And you can see that cute little tag that we've created. So now I'm going to take my Peacock Feathers ink again, and just with a little bit of ink on there, I'm just going to go all around the edges of that tag. Now I've got some ribbon here, and this is just a coordinating ribbon in kind of a teal blue or teal green color here. And I'm just cutting a piece that's maybe about 10 inches long. And I'm just going to thread that through the top part here of my ornament. Then I'm just going to have those two ends meet at the top, and I'm just going to tie a little knot here. Once that's secure, I'm just going to trim off that little bit of excess there. And now I'm going to go back to that cording that we used before, and I'm just going to slide that underneath that ribbon, and I'm just going to slide my tag on there, and then I'm going to tie a bow. And you could leave those ends long like that. I couldn't decide, but in the end I did decide just to cut off that excess. But either way, again, would be cute. So here you can see the completed ornament. It's really simple and easy to do. And I like the flat back on these ornaments. I want to do them as like little party favors, dinner favors. So they'll lay flat on the table when I go to do that. And I just think they're cute from the back. You could sign back here. You could stamp a sentiment back here before you put it all together. And if you wanted to have a completely round ornament, you could do another scene on the back and then glue that second dome to the back of it. So that's the project for today. Don't forget there's a complete list of all the supplies I used down at the bottom. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit me at pinkwhisperdesigns.com. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.